Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. Looking at precipitation and how it compares to normal, you can see that it's been really dry across the Great Basin over the past 14 days. This image on the left shows how precipitation compares to normal over the past 14 days. And really it's just only portions of the higher elevations of central Idaho that have seen near or above normal precipitation over the past 14 days. Looking back at the 30-day period, which is this image on the right, that picture doesn't change too much. We really have been very abnormally dry across the Great Basin over the past 30 days. Satellite this morning shows a large area of low pressure across the central northern part of the United States with some northwesterly flow and some increased cloudiness across the northern part of the Great Basin. So for today, you can see this larger area of low pressure across the central northern part of the United States with moisture in place and some moisture and northwesterly flow across the northwestern part of the Great Basin. With this northwesterly flow in place, the ventilation index is good to excellent across the majority of the Great Basin. If we take a look at that in a little more detail, you can see from this image on the left that the transport winds are quite good across most of the area. The only exception to that is across portions of western and southwestern Nevada where those winds are lighter. Mixing heights are also lower across those portions of Nevada that have the lighter winds. And so the lowest mixing that we will see today is across portions of western and southwestern Nevada. As we move into Thursday, we shift to more westerly flow across the area, and really we're looking at good to excellent mixing across the entire area again for Thursday. Digging into that in a little more detail, you can see that transport winds increase area-wide on Thursday, which leads to that improvement across those portions of Nevada on Thursday, and our mixing heights are quite good across the area as well. So moving to Friday, we start to see a storm system making its way into the Great Basin. We'll start to see winds increase from the southwest, and again with those increased southwesterly winds, the majority of the area, with the exception of portions of Idaho, will see excellent mixing. And again, looking at that in more detail, you can see those increased transport winds across the majority of the Great Basin, as well as good mixing heights. So looking at the Utah Forecast Clearing Index over the next 3 days, we see a similar picture reflected with good to excellent mixing across the majority of the area through at least Friday. Over the next 3 days, there's a fair amount of precipitation that is expected to fall across the northern part of the Great Basin. Idaho will see the brunt of that precipitation. As we move into Saturday, we see moisture increase across the entire Great Basin. We'll start to see precipitation make its way into portions of northern Utah and northern and central Nevada on Saturday. With that storm system making its way through the area, our ventilation indices will be good to excellent across the majority of the Great Basin. On Sunday, we continue to see the increase in precipitation as a cold front slowly makes its way south into the central part of the Great Basin. Again, good to excellent mixing across the majority of the area on Sunday. As we move into Monday, we see that moisture continue to shift south across the Great Basin, a little bit of ridging across the north, which will lead to a decrease in the ventilation index across the northern part of the Great Basin on Monday. And then finally, as we look at Tuesday, the models hint that there is a potential for some ridging to develop on Tuesday, which would lead to a decrease in the ventilation index next Tuesday. In the 4 to 5 day period, the majority of the Great Basin will see precipitation. However, areas further south in the Great Basin will be missed by that precipitation in the 4 to 5 day period. Finally, looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, they are calling for below normal temperatures across the north, with above normal precipitation across the north and below normal precipitation across the southeast. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.